All right. Hey, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about available space. So we got these designated spaces where we're supposed to play, parks, designated spaces where, you have a front lawn. That's a designated space for a lawn. Oh, and then you have a backyard. And in your backyard, you might have a garden. This year, I got really thinking about that. Well, not really. It was more of a mistake or an accident. Because, we had done a whole bunch of groundwork to build something. And the whole area around that building was left bare for quite a few years and had sand on it. So earlier this summer, we spread out some topsoil over it and was thinking about planting grass, and then realized the price of grass. And that was a huge investment in grass seed, and that we didn't really necessarily have the cash right now to buy a ton of grass seed. So it sat there for a while. And then I got thinking about it, and I'm like, well, why not do something with that space while we're waiting to plant it? And the key is plant it. So I said, hey, you know what? We got this space. May as well turn it into a garden. May as well use it as an extra space to plant a garden this year. We're trying to grow more food, trying to increase our productivity on the farm, trying to use the land. So we planted it to a whole bunch of different vegetables. It was sitting bare, and it actually works out great. We have weeds, yeah, but there's weeds all over the place. But they're not as bad as in other places. Like I have a garden behind, an older garden. I planted there this year as well. But as you can see on this video right here, the garden's filled with weeds and quackgrass. Here, yeah, there's weeds, because weeds are naturally going to grow where it's available. Where there's land to grow, weeds are going to grow. But luckily the quackgrass, which eventually we want in here, hasn't moved in. So it makes a perfect spot for us to plant a whole bunch of vegetables. It's got lots of nice green, lots of nice light. It's close to water. So really, I think what I'm saying here is, well, I know what I'm saying here. There's lots of great places to plant a garden, to grow food. And sometimes we just gotta look outside of the box. Sometimes we gotta look at alternative places to grow. Places that we don't necessarily think about. Like I didn't think about this space, which I should have. I should have thought instantaneously about this space. This is a great space to grow a garden. There's nothing in it. I know it's a bit late in the season to plant a garden, but next summer or next spring, think about it. Think about where you have availability to grow food. I think growing food is really, really important. Growing your own food, knowing where your food comes from, being involved in that food process. Besides, I heard a recent study. Well, it wasn't even a study. I saw something on Instagram. By the way, follow us on Instagram. Life Out Here. I'll put a link in the below. But there was somebody on Instagram, and I'm not quite sure who it was, and I'll throw a link up to this person as well. But they were just talking about a monoculture. One of the largest monocultures. And there's 30 and don't quote me on this, there's 30 million acres of this planted, and that's grass. And it's probably front yard grass. Why aren't we growing food in our front yards? Why are we planting lawns? Which kind of gets me thinking about lawns. Why do we have these giant lawns? Well, I think many years ago, the farmers and the peasants looked up at the nobility and their landowners and said, oh, look at man, look, he's got a giant lawn. He has this huge lawn. And yet I till hard, and I don't have a lawn. All my land's for growing food. And then we became more decadent and we moved over to the North America and started colonizing that area. Everyone was like, well, back in Europe, they had giant lawns. I want a lawn to show my wealth. And so lawns suddenly became part of the modern city. To show off your wealth, you planted a lawn. It was mine, like it was a tiny lawn, but it was a lawn. We didn't grow food, we planted lawns because we wanted to feel like maybe we had a bit of nobility. Maybe we were landowners. Well, we were landowners, but it's a bit of nobility. And now we have lawns everywhere. You drive down the street and that's all you see. You see a few renegade people that are out there planting gardens in their front lawn, which is awesome. They're figuring out how to grow food. Besides, a lawn is a lot of work. Here I am standing on my future lawn. I'm not necessarily looking forward to it being a lawn, and I kind of like it as a garden. Why do I not want it as a lawn? Well, as we traded up our lawns, or as we started building lawns, I should say, building houses, getting our own land, small pieces of land, nothing like giant landowners of Europe, it became work for us, right? We had to work. Oh, hey, there's my nephew and my daughter. Hey guys, what's going on? You guys want to come talk to the camera? No? Okay, bring the babies on the trampoline. Go for it. Yeah, go for it. Okay, I'm back. Back in my rant about lawns. So yeah, the lawn. We escaped our servitude to the landowners, came to a supposedly new country, gained wealth and the ability to get our own property and become our own owners. And to show that, we planted lawns. Large amounts of grass, just to show our wealth. Because if you look at the European cities, back then and now, probably haven't been to Europe, they're the houses are close to the road, like really close to the road, and probably back 200, 300 years ago, the houses were very close to the road. And people just throw their waste out the window. We've came a long ways. But still, it's the idea of the lawn. The nobles, the nobility, the landowners, they had lawns, and we lived in cramped cities and looked out the window and we saw the street below us. And as we got here, we planted lawn to show our wealth and our power. But in doing so, we might have enslaved ourselves, right? Like now what do we have to do? We have to come home from work on the job, and what do? We cut our lawns. Why? So that's the thing, that's the difference between the landowners, the rich landowners. They had people to cut their lawns, and that was the peasants. Here in North America, we think we have wealth because we have a lawn. But yet we're not hiring somebody to cut it. We're still the ones cutting the lawn. And enough with my rant about lawns. Grass is nice, it's green. If you got one, fine, cool. I know lots of people like cutting their grass. But growing food is equally important. If you don't like cutting grass, you're not a real fan of it, why not take your front lawn and turn it into a garden? Find somewhere else that you want to turn into a garden. Grow some food. Yeah, I know it's middle of July here, and there's no way you're planting right now. I get that. But right now, start thinking about it. Start thinking about where you can plant. I don't know if you've heard of spin gardening. See, the spin gardeners, they got it. They find available land and they grow food. Okay, this is a bit of a change from my ordinary videos. I hope it was somewhat entertaining. I gotta weed this garden here. But the really nice thing about it is this food's my food. This is my garden. I'm growing this food for me and my family and my friends. I'm not growing it for a landowner or a noble. I'm growing it from myself, my family, my friends. And there is the power in gardening. I'm gonna eat and enjoy this food. My family's gonna eat well this winter. Okay, so click that subscribe button, hit the bell. I know. Why hit the bell if I don't make enough videos? Well, I'm gonna try to put out more videos, so hit the bell. And thanks for watching.